My introduction to Mahakavi Bharati was as a school student, as a high school student. In our text, there was a chapter on Mahakavi. There was a chapter on Subramaniam Bharati. That's how I came to know about this great person, his what a gist of, you can understand in a high school textbook how much can be written. But the bhav, the essence was the great freedom fighter, a great nationalist, a great poet, a great whatnot. And that left me inspired that lesson. Thereafter, being a student of science, I pursued my science studies. When I came to this estate about 3.5 years back, I saw in Raj Bhavan there are plenty of statues, but somehow Bharati was missing. And then, thanks to Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, we installed a statue of Mahakavi Bharati in Raj Bhavan. I kept looking for more opportunities, what all? How to shed the legacies of the colonial rule and come to terms with our present reality as an independent, confident nation. Then what struck me was a colonial legacy of Darbar Hall. Darbar used to be the king. And I said, no, Darbar Hall has no business to stand as a Darbar Hall. It has to be rechristened. And then we thought, who could be a more appropriate person, because that's the place where all this swearing in happens, whether the chief minister, whether it is the chief justice, whether the ministers, all those and major events that happen. I think this hall must be sanctified with the name of Bharatiyar. And the Honorable President kindly agreed, and he did this. I must confess that my knowledge of Bharati's work, Bharatiyar work, is very limited, obviously. But I can also claim that you need not know all the work. One has to make, there are a lot of experts sitting here on the dais, they know much more, they can talk about Mahakavi for days together. But my own sense is that suppose if to understand the magnitude of Himalaya, you don't have to be a geologist, you don't have to know that length and breadth and height of this. Just stand nearby and see and feel humbled. How high, how mighty this Himalaya is. And from that perspective, when I look at this great son of Mahabharati, it gives me an ethereal feeling. A great lover of Tamil language. I think the amount of service that he has done to Tamil language, I don't think there could be parallel. There are many great writers, great poets, I don't deny that. But in the last 1 or 2 centuries, if there is anyone who has done so much service to the language, in my understanding, my limited understanding, I don't think anyone can come close to him. He was a proud Tamilian. In fact, when the British were trying to dissuade the people here to learn Tamil and move towards English as a medium of instruction, of course, they had already introduced English as a medium of instruction. And they encouraged by various means, by inducement, by threat, by coercion, people to move away from Tamil. They called Tamil a vernacular language. We know vernacular what it means. A language of a born slave. That is the literal meaning of it. They didn't consider it as a language. And at that time, how Mahakavi responded, I came across one letter to editor in 1900 and, if I remember correctly, perhaps 1916. 19th October. Those days when the British were persuading at various levels and coercing at the ground people to move from Tamil to English, J.C. Rollo, who was the principal of Pachayappa College, he was on a campaign also to say that the only capable language to express philosophy, science, higher ideas is English. Tamil is not competent, is not. At that time, it was Mahakavi Bharati who responded with a strong rebuttal. Say, no, Tamil is far more capable of scientific and philosophical expression than English. Not only that, he was a great proponent of education in mother tongue. He says that I firmly believe that the most scientific and humane way of imparting instruction, the knowledge, is the mother tongue. He resisted, he stood like a mountain to the British attempt to remove Tamil, downgrade Tamil, and promote English. Create a sense of inferiority complex among the people about the own mother tongue. He was a proud Tamilian who did so much service to the language. But he was also a very proud Bharatiya. He sang song, umpteen number of songs. We heard the children singing some of those songs. He was a devotee of Ma Bharati. Bharatiya, I would not consider him as a mortal being, a human being. He was a divine incarnation. What he did was humanly not possible for even an extraordinary human being. He was way beyond. How do we carry his legacy? In fact, this question, when I ask myself, how do we carry his legacy? It gives me an uneasy feeling that the fact that I am asking this question, it itself is a matter of concern, because ideally Bharatiya would have been celebrated at a monumental scale in the academia, in the society, in the social life, political life, academic life, everywhere. Because what he did, we heard about speakers talking about his Vishwarup. No aspect of life was untouched or uncovered. But we find this is lacking. Today, I have a sense that Bharatiya, he lives in the heart of the people. There's no doubt about it. He cannot be just erased. But is that enough? Because we should not let Bharatiya become just a memory. He must be illuminating, inspiring our life, in our personal life, our national life. That doesn't seem to be happening. When I came, we have 20 state universities. Of course, one of the universities is named after him, but that's the end of it. I looked for, is there any Subramaniam Bharati chair for doing research and work? What Thiru Seeni Viswanathan did, people would have been working on his. I know there are not many people who have done PhD and all in literature on Bharati. But it's dedicated centers, not one or two, multiple. You see how the centers have come upon Ramayana, multiple centers. Because Bharati's personality was infinite. It requires large number of people, scholars to work. But I was disappointed that we don't have even one Subramaniam Bharati chair in any of our state universities, as far as I know. And my attempt to have a chair, I must confess that it was 3.5 years of my effort. I am yet to succeed. Because not that the vice chancellors are unwilling, they are very keen, but they come under extreme pressure and threat. I wondered why. Even this publication, the huge treasure wealth, looking for patrons, asking for university, academia, university, schools, colleges to have it. Each one of them have multiple copies of this in their libraries. And I believe publicity is struggling to look for. Why? Why have we come to such a stage? Come to think of this A great event today is a historic event, and I find this auditorium empty. Where have we reached? But then, this where we have reached, despite the fact that the Bhartiyar lives in the heart of the people, it has to be overcome. Because we need him, we need his work. And I'm sure it will happen.